Okay, let's go.
Was
Okay.
it on?
Okay. Today's the day after Thanksgiving, and it's 2020, and this is Mom and I were making a little movie about her and David's trip to see Norman Rockwell's house and
So
all
what-
kinds of stuff.
Can you see this picture? What does it say? No.
It says Norman Rockwell's home in Stockbridge,
There
Massachusetts.
There it is right here, and we went to the house, and this is the front of his house.
Celebrate a national treasure. Anyway, go ahead and just talk
Celebrating a national treasure, it says, and right here he has these steel cutout silhouettes cut out in front of his house, pointing the way to his studio. Here's the front of his studio.
Oh.
Is that? See, this is. I thought you could see it.
I'm having a hard time with the glare. The front of the gallery museum. Okay.
Oh, this is the front of the museum.
Oh, it's all brick. I mean, a stone fireplace.
And this is his studio.
Oh, it's red.
And we got to have a private tour. They have a tour with a group of people, and that tour was over with, and the gal stayed and said, "Okay, I'll take you on up just a private tour," and which of course was just thrilled me to death.
Oh my God! Can you imagine? My dream come true.
Inside his studio, it's just as he left it. He cleaned his brushes and studio every single night before he left it. It was always neat as a pin. That's, I guess, the way he painted all his life. Kept everything so neat. Here's the little town. That famous painting of his with the whole town across. It's still the same today as it was then. The only thing that changed are the cars. And in this picture right here, that I bought a set of candles in there, 24 box set, and that's one of the little shops that's in that village that he painted. And over in that village, we'll go turn it one back one more house. I forgot to tell we went on the main street there. We walked across this whole thing and went in every store, of course. And the one store was a little bakery, and then right next door to it, they had connecting walkthroughs was the ice cream shop. So the ice cream gal had been on a break. And, well, they're not girls, they're ladies, all nice, in their 50s, 60s-year-old ladies that work in this whole village. And so the bakery gal said, "Oh, I'll make you an ice cream cone." She went over to the ice cream place, made us an ice cream cone. Oh, my gosh. I'm telling you, it was about a quart of ice cream in each cone, and it was just the most delicious cone we ever had. It was some kind of a berry ice cream cone. We stood outside there and ate it. I'd be glad the gal was missing from the ice cream shop. So we stayed in the little town, the little village that was right next door to it, and I think it was called Lenox.
Yeah.
And we stayed in this beautiful little motel, and it was a gorgeous little fun, beautiful little community. And so now I think we start on our tour. I'm not quite sure.
So you get to Vermont, and at the line, and the highway is white and smooth.
Oh my gosh, that is so funny. Here you're driving in Massachusetts, and this old crumbly looking highway, and here's the state line to go into Vermont, and Vermont has perfect white highways. The streets are just gorgeous, and it starts right there right there at the state line. And here's the house we drove past with a big giant sign on it that says half price. We were in heaven. Every city we went to, we bought something. We had to stop in at the thrift stores and buy suitcases to fill up the stuff. We stayed at this beautiful, beautiful little.
This is into Canada.
And I can't tell where
It
we
says
are.
Vermont in the summer isn't exciting. We just drove through our way up to Canada. Beautiful country, though.
Oh yeah, there we are. We just
There's a
drove
rest
up.
stop.
We drove up through. Now,
This is the beautiful hotel.
oh my, this was a 5-star. Just the top of the line, beautiful, beautiful place, and listed in the books of restaurants, it was a 5-star. Oh my gosh, I kept the recipe of what it was, and of course now I can't even remember. I remember it had asparagus laying across some kind of with sauce on top. Oh, it was delicious. And see, I don't know where I am.
You're looking at the big hotel?
And no, that's the state building. This is the hotel. This is the state building, and
Okay.
these are up in Canada.
Did you want to say something else about that hotel?
So these are all the beautiful, beautiful buildings. There is no writing there,
No.
and I had to go drive all by myself because David got very sick.
Okay. Now we're just going through.
Okay, this
Is just pictures of the.
Is it?
There's no more writing. Anyway, tell this. Let me see something if I can find more.
So we stayed. We went up to when we came back through Canada, and
There's a horse and carriage.
see if I could look at it. I could see it. I don't. I'm having a tough time remembering where I am here on these pictures. I had to drive up there in Quebec by myself because David wasn't well at all, and so he stayed in that hotel, and I drove up all around Quebec all by myself, and this is all pictures of Quebec, and I can let Christy just go through. Here's one interesting one. I watched this fellow set up his equipment, and I sat on a bench there and watched him set the whole thing up, and of course I put a little money in the suitcase or in the
He
case.
was, his guitar suitcase.
Yeah,
He was singing.
and so Quebec is the only totally city that is fenced in, and I had to walk all by myself. I mean, drive all by myself, and I just took pictures out the window of all the beautiful, beautiful places there in Quebec. Now we turned and went back into New York, but on the way, coming through the border of Canada into the United States, a real older car. We're driving in a big fancy Cadillac that we rented at the airport, and so the couple that's in the car, the people in the car in front of us are old, like younger people in a kind of a dumpy car. They send them right through, and they make us, David and I, stop at the border and empty out the suitcases and show them we don't have drugs. We thought that was so funny. And so they pick a couple like
you're
us.
the obvious one.
Yeah. So we went through, and now we stopped through Sarasota Springs, New York. Well, we decided that was our favorite town we went through on our whole trip. On this trip, we always pick a favorite town. This is the street down at the shopping center, and of course, I go shopping at every place we're in. And here's the little Golly, Christy, I should have looked at this ahead of time
It's
so I know what
okay.
I've.
It
My
doesn't-
thing, you got. That's where I am. I've got every store we went to, we stopped at and bought something in every city. But Sarasota Springs is where they have the racetrack, so
Yeah, just talk it.
we just loved the racetrack, of course, and it's only open, only race twice a year. Well, there I am shopping. Okay, see if
It's okay. We can.
this is the way David likes to shop. He sits. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna have to put my glasses on because
He sits on the bench.
I thought you could read it while I was talking about it.
Well,
but
I'm
it
not.
doesn't
I
work
want
that
you to
way.
just. It's
And you need your glasses on too.
it's better for you just to tell the story.
And
anyway.
but that makes me remember what it is.
Oh, okay.
So there we are. There I am in front of the things. We shop at every city we're in. We buy something. And I was saying this is the way David likes to shop. He sits on the stool, on a bench or something that's outside the shopping places, and I bring him the packages. I still have the outfit that I bought at that store. It's gorgeous. It's in the drawer over there. I'll be darned. So we just kept driving. We found a beautiful little motel, and here we are coming into the entrance. And when we went on our trips, we would go on the days that it was before the big tourist season started. So everybody was always making everything all pretty and nice. And this place, the fellow was so nice, and he was busy trimming the trees, painting the front of the doors, making it all bright and shiny. And we were the only tourists because the season started in about a week, and we just loved it there. A little town in New York, serene settings, and there they had this all set up with their swinging things. Look at here. Do they know how to grow hydrangeas in New York? Yes, they do. Look at that shop. My gosh, every single house. We were so impressed with all the houses because each house was just, every single house had these big giant porches, and all those houses are over 100 years old. All of the houses are over.
It fell apart, Mom.
No, it already was apart.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Oh dear.
Okay. Well. Yeah.
Every single house has these giant porches in front of it, and we just absolutely took a picture of just one house right after the other.
Oh my God!
They're all over 100 years old.
Aren't they beautiful?
And just think, they've lived through all those snows up in Upper New York. So we decided that was our favorite town that we
Isn't
visited.
that beautiful?
Every single one was just gorgeous. And where did we end up? Obviously, at the racetrack. The Saratoga
Springs.
See, Florida has Sarasota, and New York has Saratoga. And I wrote all these things down with the wrong name, and I had to rewrite them. So this is Saratoga in Upper New York, and they only have this racetrack. It's closed, obviously. It's absolutely beautiful, and they only have it twice a year. Now we went to Lancaster, Pennsylvania, and that was a beautiful place. There's the motel we stayed at, and we met up with David's old buddy that they were in their 20s together, and they were a couple of hustling dudes, I'll tell you. A couple of good-looking boys in their day. Kit was a paratrooper in the war. David was a Marine, and the two of them worked in the same store and got into all kinds of troubles. So they had lots of fun, and I got a big laugh with Kit. He was a good buddy of that. But here's what ended up happening. Well, where did I have? I didn't show poor David ended up, he was so sick at Lancaster, and he ended up, well, here it is. So he ended up in the hospital. There he spent his time in Lancaster, Pennsylvania.
Oh, David.
So he ended up he was so sick, so it was dark. It was very dark night, and I thought, here I am in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, and I don't know what to do because he is so sick. I'm going to have to put him in the hospital, and I thought I better find out where the hospital is. So he's laying in the bed. I get in the car. It's pitch black outside. I drive up the street. I asked the people where the hospital was. They told me where it was. I drove up to see where it was so I could take him there. And then I came to come back home again. Well, I went around the block, just like you do here at all our places I've ever been. You go drive around the block. It's a block. It's a square block. So I thought I'm going in a square block. No, I'm not going in a square block. It goes to where did I even know where I was? No, I didn't know where I was. I am now in Amish country, and I don't even know it. There are no lights. There's no electricity. There's no nothing. David's laying in bed so sick I wanted to find out where the hospital was. I saw some lights. I drove to the lights. I broke down and started to cry. I was so scared because he had to go to the hospital, and I should have just called 911, but he didn't want me to. And so a lady came out of that in the middle of nowhere. It was a little like a 7-Eleven type thing, and she came out. She said, I know just what you're going through. There are no signs as to what the streets are. You're in Amish country. There's no electricity. This is outside of the Amish lanes. So I'll tell you how to get back to where you want to go. And she drew out a map. I got to go back. So there we were. And that's where David spent his time in Amish country. I mean, when we were on vacation in Lancaster Hospital, I'm telling you, he was there for 3 days and the bill was $300. We said, are you serious? $300 for 3 days? It had cost, in California, it cost $300 just to look in the front door. So there we are. Here I am in Amish country, and I had lots of fun while he's in the hospital. I'm down driving around looking at the Amish places. Oh boy! And the quilts are so darn expensive. Of course, I didn't buy it expensive, but there's one of the shots I took driving. They're going on their buggies, and there was a lady, an older lady, which now I am one, but she was sitting on this unicycle, sitting there in her Amish clothes, pedaling that unicycle, sitting straight as an arrow. Can you believe it? I couldn't, but I saw it, so I do believe it.
There she goes, ding, ding, ding.
So here they are. I've got some more shots here of Amish country, and I did have a wonderful time, and I think this is a postcard because I couldn't take that many pictures, but we did have I had a marvelous time. David spent it in the hospital, but there we were. Oh my goodness! So now then, I had that in the little town next door. Here's the little town next door. Can you see it?
Mm-hmm. Oh, how cute.
You see the name of the town?
Intercourse.
The name of the town is Intercourse, so I had to buy something.
In Amish, they said intercourse.
Yes, and I bought, sitting in the other room, I bought a little clear, a candy dish that's clear, and you could pick up the top, and it's sitting in there in the other room right now. So here's one of the Amish things. I'm telling the story about the lady that was sitting straight as an arrow. I couldn't believe it. I just couldn't believe it.
On a unicycle.
On a unicycle.
Did she have a long black dress on? Or?
Oh yeah, she's dressed as she's an Amish lady, an older lady. I mean at the time she must have been about. Well, she had to be in her late 60s. I mean she was older. She had gray hair and stuff. So we went. Kit wanted to go to this place, and so we went because he'd been looking forward to that. He had never been there before. They had little tiny horses, and so we went. He was driving the car when we went to after we left off the Amish country, and now we're with Kit, and here we are heading back to, and what do? We go to this little this little place that,
Okay.
and they're having pig races, and of course, the one we bet on, it won. So there we are. We've gone to see pigs. We've gone. Here it is. And by golly, this pig is winning our race. And we went and saw the little ponies. And
There they go. Oh, how funny.
so we got to see a pig race, and we got to see the teeny tiny horses.
It wasn't Saratoga, it was
No,
Saratoga.
we're out of the beautiful town of Saratoga. I don't even know we're heading to Gettysburg, and Kit had been to Gettysburg many times, but David and I hadn't, and of course, we wanted to go to Gettysburg, and that was a very, very moving experience for David and I, and there we are, and we walked on some of the grounds and saw some of the beautiful statues that were in, commemorative statues of various colonels and fighters in the big war. So I have put in my book the Gettysburg Address. My cousin knew it by heart, and I have a recording that my dad made of one of my older second cousins, and he's reciting the Gettysburg Address he knew it by heart. So that was quite an experience to see there. And then the little town is different. It's not, obviously they have beautiful places to.
That's cute. It looks very European.
And we happened to just this beautiful little white carriage was sitting in front of this one hotel, and of course Kit was driving, and I got to look after we passed it. I got shots of it.
Okay, we see it.
And here's a beautiful wedding coming out of there, and Kit has driven past it, and I didn't get any shots of the wedding. But that's what that was. They were a wedding that came out of that beautiful little beautiful place. On to now. Kit is gone, and we're driving our car that we've left at our motel that we're staying at, Newport, Rhode Island, back down to where a couple of little houses that look like where we live. And here's some of the mansions there around where the Kennedys and stuff are from. Look at these.
They were Massachusetts, Rhode Island. Yeah. Oh my
Newport,
goodness!
Rhode
Look
Island,
at those mansions.
That's
Two
where
poor things.
and we saw where Jackie
Little shacks.
learned to ride her horse and stuff, and you got to ride on that. You got to drive on that little curly street that right above at the bottom.
Oh, I
of
see
the
it
photo.
right along the water.
You get to drive on that one, and most of the places have big hedges where you don't get to look to see into the place. Into the places. So now we went to Newport, Rhode Island to see those beautiful mansions. Now we're heading back to our motel, and here is a place. See, it says Hershey's Ice Cream. Well, we were there. We pulled up in our car, and we're sitting outside and having a beautiful ice cream. Here come all the guys from work. This is the time they've just been working construction and so forth, and you'd think they'd stop at the bar and have a beer. No. Here's all these working men coming. They stop here at this place and get an ice cream. And we were very impressed. We thought, the California guys would all be in there having a beer, but these guys are all in there having ice cream at that ice cream place. So that was pretty fun.
That's cool. That's funny.
So I was very impressed. Nobody else they all think I'm nuts, but I couldn't get over all these fabulous, beautiful graveyards. Thousands of headstones. California doesn't have headstones because they just mow the lawn and they're there. Now here we are. Here we are leaving. We're getting on the airplane, and we're heading for this beautiful trip that we made up to
Quebec.
And we went clear through Canada, but that time we went up. These are the photos with Quebec. And what did we say? By golly, we made it back. Here we are coming home. And Christy brought the car, and the girl pushed the.
I brought the wheelchair.
You drove the car and brought it, and you didn't bring a wheelchair. They wheeled him from where we got off the plane, and there's the nurse. There's the gal from the airport bringing us to our car, and there's Christy peeking around. Thank goodness she was able to get the car there and get us home. And that was our trip, one of our fun trips we had back in, I think it was 1998.
Wow.
So I wonder what just think, 22 years ago.
Wow.
So
well, that was
I'm
fun.
still here, and I think the Amish are still here.
And there's the painting I did of David and Mom above her.
There we are. That was his 60th birthday up there that she painted. And I keep that with me. It's one of my treasures. So that was one of our great trips.
Okay, well, let me see if we taped this.